History remembers kings, but it never forgets the ones who refused to bow to them. In the Golden Age of Piracy, power wasn't inherited, it was taken. And sometimes it was taken in silence.
Not with swords drawn, but with decisions made in the dark.
Are you with me?
Hello everyone, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jane. And today, we're stepping into a story that's not just about piracy. It's about loyalty, leadership, and power. And a moment a crew decides they're done following. This is Calico Jack Rackham, along with two pretty amazing female pirates.
And Bonny and Mary Read, and the mutiny that changed everything.
Before Jack Rackham, there was Charles Vane. And Vane wasn't just another pirate captain. He was a man who refused to bend.
This is a guy that had every opportunity to walk away. The king offered a pardon and a clean slate, a way out of piracy, and a lot of men took it.
Vane didn't. He sailed into Nassau, taking a captured ship and set it on fire.
And he sends it drifting straight toward the ships, enforcing the king's rule.
That's not just defiance. That's a statement. It tells you everything about who he is. He's not negotiating. He's not adapting.
He is drawing a line. But that kind of leadership, it comes with a cost. Vane ruled through fear, through unpredictability, and that works.
Until it doesn't.
Then came the moment that changed everything. A warship sitting on the horizon. Not a merchant vessel, not easy money. This was the kind of fight that could end you.
Now here's the thing about Vane. He wasn't afraid of a fight.
This is the same man who burned ships in Nassau just to send a message. He thrived on chaos, but he wasn't reckless. He understood risk.
And in that moment, he looked out at that ship and made a decision. He wasn't going to take that fight. And from his perspective, that's leadership. He's protecting the ship. He's protecting the crew. He's thinking long term.
Exactly, but that's not how it felt to the men standing behind him. To them, this wasn't strategy. It felt like hesitation. And pirates, they don't follow hesitation. They follow leadership and determination. And they never run from a fight.
That night, everything changed. No shouting, no chaos, just quiet conversations. And this is where Jack Rackham steps in. Not as the loudest voice, not as the most feared man on the ship, but as the one people trusted to speak.
That's what a quartermaster is. He doesn't take control, he asks questions. Is this the man we follow? And one by one, they answered. Not out loud, but with their vote.
And just like that, Vane was out.
Now, Jack Rackham is not stepping into the role as the most feared man on the ship. He's something else entirely. He's approachable, he's charismatic, and persuasive.
Captain, the men are ready for battle.
He's the kind of leader people want to follow. And that changes everything. Because fear might give you control, but it doesn't give you loyalty.
Exactly. And loyalty, that's what holds a crew together.
And Bonny is one of those people that you don't understand just by listing facts. You feel her and her presence through the stories. She wasn't just rebellious. She was volatile. There are accounts of her attacking men who crossed her and not backing down.
And that's important because Anne wasn't trying to prove anything. She already knew who she was. And when she met Jack, that's where things shifted.
Because what she finds with him isn't safety, it's freedom.
And then there's Mary Read. Mary's story isn't about rebellion, it's about survival.
She lived as a boy. She fought as a soldier. Everything she experienced shaped her. Mary didn't become strong at sea. She brought that strength with her.
Now, Calico Jack's crew really should not have worked. We have 100 different personalities. They came from different places. Their experiences mixed well, but that was to everyone's surprise.
But somehow it worked, because they understood each other. In the end, Jack Rackham isn't brought down in some massive legendary battle.
It happens fast. A British pirate hunter, Captain Jonathan Barnett, tracks them down off the coast of Jamaica. And he doesn't wait. He attacks at night. And Jack's crew, they're not ready. They'd been drinking, celebrating, letting their guard down. And when the attack comes, most of them don't even make it to the deck.
But not everyone hides. Anne Bonny and Mary Read, they come up fighting. Outnumbered, outgunned, and still standing their ground, while the rest of the crew stayed below.
And it doesn't take long. The ship is overwhelmed. Jack is captured. And this is where the story shifts again, because the man who took control with a vote loses everything in a moment of collapse.
Not because he wasn't capable, but because the moment found him unprepared. There's a moment before the end when Anne is allowed to see Jack one last time, and what she says, "If you had fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." That line, that tells you how it all ended.
It was November 1720, Port Royal, Jamaica. This is where it ends for Jack Rackham. No ship, no crew, no control. He's brought to the gallows in front of a crowd that came to watch pirates fall. And this wasn't unusual. Pirate executions were meant to send a message.
This is what happens when you choose this life. And when the moment comes, Jack Rackham is hanged. And just like that, the man who once stood in the center of a mutiny is gone. But the story doesn't end with him. Mary Read dies in prison, and Anne Bonny, she disappears. No one knows where or how. No confirmed ending, no clear record. Which somehow makes her story even more powerful.
Jack Rackham wasn't the strongest pirate, but he changed the story. Because without him, Anne Bonny and Mary Read
might have never been known. And sometimes, history isn't about power.
It's about what lasts. And that is where our story ends on the Golden Age of Piracy.
And next week, we hope you join us as we start our series on the Tudors with the War of the Roses.
And I am Jason, and we will see you next week on Willis Through Time.